A lot of times people will be selfish with knowledge or the fear that somebody may go and replicate it.
You know, a lot of the fragrances and things that we use affect us in our body. They're basically poison. Yeah. So sometimes you think that you are dealing with allergies or different things, and it's really just what
The
you
whole
put
time your body is like fighting.
Literally. It's literally fighting for its life. It's like, help me.
Yeah, and you're just like, turn it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back to Business Friends, the official Co-Space podcast. Yay! So I always say every business owner needs business friends. And if you don't have any, well, you can share mine. Yay! So this is the official podcast for CoSpace, and we have real conversations about business, culture, life, all of that. And every episode, we always tie it to a musical theme because I like music. And as you heard, today's theme is Happy Feelings by Frankie Beverly Maze, which is a great song. Love that song.
One of my favorite.
Right? It is. But we're also tying that to that feeling, right? Because as business owners, sometimes we are selling or curating a feeling. And I've brought some of my business friends here who really understand how to do that. So let's jump in. Yay.
Thanks
So-
for having me.
Thanks for
Yeah.
being here. So every episode, I always like to begin by just asking what's on your spirit. So business friends, I'm asking what's on your mind. It's a quick check-in just to kind of see how you're feeling. How they say check on your strong friends, you know? So what's been sitting with you lately? So we'll start with you, Calvin, who is one of my oldest friends. I always tell people this. Calvin and I have been friends since middle school.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? And I love him. So Calvin, in addition to being one of my oldest friends, is also the founder of the Poetry Potluck, where everyone feels the comfort of food, poetry, games, cousins, and all kind of great vibes. So Calvin, what has been sitting with you lately? What's in your spirit?
2026 for the spoken word exchange and the poetry potluck is our year of sustainability.
Okay.
So last year was our year of legacy with the objective of leaving spaces better than we found them.
And you did
And-
that.
Yes, absolutely. And this year is our year of sustainability. So how much, can we push the envelope a bit and sustain on our own? If nobody else was investing in our work, how do we stay and, continue to sustain, and how does it even outlive Calvin?
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that. That's a good thing to be in your spirit, right?
Right, absolutely.
And then we have Sherry, who I call my business bestie. Yay! So not only is she my business bestie, but she's also the creator of Place of Aroma, who is known for the signature scents in the form of candles, perfumes, sprays, and the signature scent here at CoSpace. And the reason why people chase me down to ask why I smell so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
And also the bottle activation, the fragrance bar, original, the best to do it, all of these things. So Carrie, what is sitting with you lately, friend?
What's sitting with me lately? I would say, I'll piggyback off of you. Sustainability as well as expansion. I'm looking to expand my brand, so that's been heavily weighing on me. Not weighing on me, I would say, but tugging at me a bit. 'Cause I think expansion is sometimes a little bit scary. But it's also just something that you have to embrace.
You have to do
You
it.
have to do it.
You have to do it. If you're not growing, you're stopping, and you can't stop.
Right. So it's scary, but I'm super excited because I like to be scarce. Is it crazy?
No, it's on brand for you.
That's not brand.
You know what's sad though? I wanted to say can't stop, won't stop, and I can't say that anymore.
Oh.
So of all the horrible things from Homeboy, that has got to be the worst, is that we can no longer say can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, it'll forever be baby L lace.
We'll talk after. Oh, you're so funny. So, as I mentioned earlier, the theme for today's episode is happy feelings, right? And in addition to being an amazing song, for me, it's really tying to, as business owners, understanding that, like, if people feel something, they're going to stick around, they're going to purchase, they're going to buy a ticket, they're going to do all the things, right? So, like, how does emotion show up? Is it strategic? Did you just happen to realize that you had a whole thing here going? So, like, let's talk about it. We'll start with you, Calvin.
So are we asking behind the poetry potluck?
Yeah, let's start.
Was there an emotion that showed up that said, like, I'm doing something well, or this is what I should be doing?
So to me, the poetry potluck is not just like a block party, right? we come, and I can tell as a person who faithfully comes, we come because we feel something, right? You can tell us, hey guys, we're meeting in a ditch next month, and we're gonna be like, all right, well, it's
Gonna
gonna
be a
be say we
historic
go.
ditch.
We're gonna go, and we're not gonna complain. You know, remember the one we did at the historic tea room?
Yes.
We're supposed to be indoors, but we had to pivot and we were outdoors.
Mhm.
And Gil was there. Shout out to my podcast engineer, Gil. And we were sweating for our life.
Yes.
And we not
Everybody
one
was.
thought we should leave. Not one person said we're gonna leave.
So
we
let's-
were gonna sit there and just be there because it's a feeling. So for I
Agreed.
feel like one of the things that you're most successful in is being able to curate a feeling and then turn that feeling into a following.
That's
So-
well, okay. So write that down somewhere.
Right.
What I will say, I think that's a great place to start, right? Or to pinpoint that day. Even as I think about it right now, that day makes me teary eyed. That day warms my heart. Like our work is really meaningful. So for one thing, I roll past Georgette's tea room. I literally feel it in my eye. I roll past Georgette's tea room on a regular basis throughout my early 20s because my best friends lived across the street in the Whites in the projects. They had an apartment at like 18, 19 years old right over there. And I used to look at this big apartment sitting in the middle of the project. I mean, not apartment, this huge home in the middle of the projects. Like, that's something.
Right.
Like, this is long before I was ever interested in
we were
history at that level. Yeah, but I'm like, that's something. I know what it is. And I looked at it for years. And I always wanted to know what it was. And years later, I went by there and I noticed that they had repainted it. So I started doing some investigating. I meet Miss Kim Johnson and her sister, and
Kim.
Miss Kim. They're a part of the Seventh-day Adventist Church right behind it, who owns the Georgette's Tea Room and about 4 other properties right there on that block. And they were renovating at the time, and I said, I don't care what it looks like. I want next April, we want to bring people here. We want them to have a great time, and we want them to learn the history so that when it is reactivated, they'll already know what it is. They'll feel a connection, and they want to come back. That day that we did it there, like you said, all of those things changed. And there's always a point with the poetry potluck where there's a day, especially day of, where I'm like, let it go. People are like, oh, we can't find this. And we're like, hey, let it go.
Let it go.
That thing, whatever it is, it just won't happen because it'll be fine. And we're the only ones that know that it's missing. Air conditioning outside was one of those things. There was no air conditioning outside. And to see people walking around, it was the humidity that did it. It wasn't even that hot. It was humid.
That is right.
And people's shirts were drenched and they were going nowhere.
Yeah,
They had accepted at some point that this is what it's going to be. And we all look like this.
Yeah.
And that made me
great
so
time.
happy. Yes, we did. And it was in a nook. It was a little
Garage.
space.
Remember, we were doing the 5-minute podcast and we were in the garage fighting for our lives, but not once did we say we're gonna leave. You know? And other people would have been like, we're out. We're being tortured. And remember the power kept cutting off.
Yep.
And we were just like, we'll figure this out. We'll do this. But nobody ever complains. And nobody felt like I'm out of here or I'm never coming back. We had a grand old time. And it's not just because we like you, it was because you created a feeling.
I agree. And I think that feeling, the cousins embodies that
Oh,
spirit. And that's why I always say, like, your favorite cousins. Like, not just your cousins. I want to say the cousins that you like. You don't even rock with all your cousins.
That's true. That's
The
true.
cousins specifically
That-
that you like, that you're excited to go see, which means that you're also excited to assist. You're
Yeah.
excited to pitch in where you can and be around. Yeah. That feeling, that spirit of that, like being around the family that you love, your chosen family.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So, Carrie, you are a perfumer.
Yeah.
That's a real word, guys.
It is. It is.
I just learned something.
And we know how scent connects to memory, to mood, and things like that. So you have taken the idea of scents and have made an entire business out of the business of feeling something when you smell something, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
talk about that. How intentional were you about like branding the scent and just this entire business you created in Place of Aroma?
So I like to always piggyback off of the history of Place of Aroma. So Place of Aroma started because of my sister who lost her son via fibroids, which was to me very important to let people know that a lot of times, especially as Black women and minorities, you know, a lot of the fragrances and things that we use affect us in our bodies.
They're poison. They're
Right. They're basically poison.
Yeah.
So sometimes you think that you are dealing with allergies or different things, and it's really just what
The
you're
whole
putting.
time your body is like fighting.
Literally. It's literally fighting for its life. It's like, help me.
Yeah. And you're just like, turn it up.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know. Right. You just don't know until you're like educated about like these different things, because the skin is the biggest organ, right?
Mhm.
So when you get into that, you I don't know, I just started to really like pivot on the fact of fragrance being art. That's one. A lot of times you don't see it as that, but it is.
It is.
Right? It's like a unspoken thing that you might not see it or feel it, but you could definitely smell it and remember it for sure. So I think just being able to create something where I'm able to make it healthy
Yeah.
in a way, but also
Clean and wonderful.
exactly, and also make it into an experience for you. Because one thing you won't forget is something that you created, right?
Yes.
So
The
sometimes
fragrance bar is like my favorite thing.
yes,
It is my
it's a
favorite
hit.
thing.
It's a hit.
If you haven't seen it yet, pause the show or maybe after the show
After.
and go to Place of
And it's,
Aroma on
and it's
Instagram.
never been at the poetry potluck, and you never told me, Joy.
So we need it. We need it.
I would love that.
It's a whole.
It already sounds
It's
amazing.
so pretty, and it's pretty much where you get to go up and create your own little signature scent.
What?
But everything is just done up so perfectly, and then because you have a perfumer here, she's gonna help you and everything. So this needs to be at the poetry potluck for sure, 100%.
I love that, especially because like I know that like the scents don't smell the same on every person, and like understanding what works with your body chemistry and how it responds. Like, I really love like being able to talk with an artisan, like somebody who really knows their craft and who can tell you specifics, not just buy this because it smells good. You know what I mean? People see, I know you all know that like a lot of times that happens. You might see a hairdo on somebody, and the hairdo, it looked good on her. You know what I'm saying? It was good over there. It's not necessarily that bob ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think.
Hey, let me put my hair in. Oh,
Right, let me make sure you're talking about me. So for both of you,
yes.
are you feeling inspired by anything these days?
Yeah, I would say I'm inspired by you.
There we go.
I'm truly inspired by you, and like you said, having business friends is such an amazing thing, and just in life, it's great to have regular friends, but it's also amazing to have.
There's nothing else like it.
It's nothing like it at
You know how
all.
many times Calvin will text me like, Joe, I want to run this by you. And we have a full-fledged business meeting on a random Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We hang up with goals and objectives, and we're like, all right, bet. And then he goes and executes, or I go and execute, but it's like, you can't do that with a non-business owner first,
Right.
because they'll tell you the rest.
Right.
Right.
Conversation, the podcast started with a conversation. It all starts with dialogue.
It did. So we have the activation, the 5-minute podcast. Yay! And it literally started because Calvin was trying to find a way to highlight and allow co-states to be a part of the poetry potluck. So I always go as a regular person, but he was like, no, I want to amplify your brand too. I was like, come here, friend. And that's what we came up with, is bringing our podcast studio to life at the poetry potluck outside.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gail for saying yes to my crazy idea as well. So let's move over to the next segment of our show, which is the Culture Corner. Yay!
Awesome.
So for this section, I'm going to talk about current events, social stuff, and just the thing that's happening outside the world, but how it relates to our business, because we're business owners. Everything's always about the business. So I was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal, and by reading, I meant like the AI summary that they give
What they
you.
talk about?
Yeah. But in that little snippet that you can read for free, before that paywall kicks you out. Yeah, that. So there was a story that was talking about sentimental inflation.
Sentimental inflation.
So basically, it's the concept where consumers are abandoning long-term brands and they're giving a chance to newer brands or products or services because they feel the emotional connection. So have you noticed anything in this? They're calling it the experience economy. So have you noticed that people are more willing to invest or to buy a ticket or to purchase something if it's like an experience or like a feeling involved?
Well, I think that people are selling that these days more than ever, right? I think that if we look at advertisement in a major way as we know it, started post World War II, based on propaganda.
Oh, that-
Propaganda is what really like spiraled advertising. Yeah. It's really what propelled advertising in the States, propaganda materials, because people were responding to it.
Okay.
So propaganda became our advertisement, and the propaganda became,
This
we have this cure-all product, we have this magical technology, we got the vacuum cleaner that's gonna suck up all the dust in your life. Like everything was, this product is super effective. You know what I mean? When you look at our advertising today, it's not about whether or not it works. It's not about whether or not it's the best thing you ever saw. It's about the aesthetic. It's about how good does it look?
Yes.
Who else is wearing it? Who said that it was good?
Yeah.
Like we get,
happening when they put it
yeah.
on.
And even more so than a celebrity, this is a regular person. This
Yeah.
person is even more like me.
Yeah.
I could be them in some regard. And they started this thing and it became big. So where we were investing in the brand and the name of the brand a lot, and it was probably created by some, or at least taken and blown up by some white man we ain't never met. This
Not anymore. Now.
Girl,
Yeah.
yeah, or this guy who made that product.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't make it, they sent it off to China or some other country, had it made, put their label on it, brought it back here. We still know the person that we believe
We trust
is making,
them.
and that's what we're associating with more so than ever.
I like
And
that.
it makes you feel like this. It doesn't matter if it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
true, that's
It's
true.
placebo effect a lot.
Yeah. And I feel like, Carrie, for your business, I think you definitely benefit from the experience economy because you stay booked and busy. Like, Carrie be pushing this fragrance cart all over the world.
I love it.
So why do you think that is? Like, how is the experience economy tied into your business?
I think in a sense that people are just also yearning for community in a sense.
Yeah.
Right. So like after COVID, I always like to bring up that because a lot of times, after COVID, I feel like we were in a nutshell for a very long time. Right.
Inside.
So it's like after we was inside. We was not
hot.
outside. And that was
How many
crazy.
Zoom parties? Think about how stupid that sounds.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have another Zoom party as long as I can help it. But we were Zoom partying it up.
Oh, we used to have like wine Zoom. That was crazy.
It was.
Wine Zoom
What a
night.
time to be alive.
What a time to be.
Man, when the DJs blew up,
Oh,
like
yes.
you just in the house all day. Let's see, he's spending 24 hours a day. He ain't doing nothing but walking to the kitchen and back, and we home with him
And
all
we
day.
was there with them.
Exactly. So now I think it's more like of having an experience, but also having something that you can take away, right?
Yeah.
You want something that you can take away from events. You want something like not the average, oh my gosh, you get a pen, right?
Yeah.
We get pens all the time.
We do.
But you don't get to make your own like product in a sense.
Yeah.
You don't get to make
And
your own
people will
signature scent.
seek you out because
They will.
they saw somebody else with the perfume bottle, right?
Correct.
Or they saw somebody else recap an event and they saw the perfume bar in the background. They're like, what is that?
Right.
You
Like,
know?
what is that?
Yeah.
How did you get there?
And I think experience, that goes back to experiential learning, and that we've always, since the time when we were children, you know what I mean? That's what Play-Doh was. That's what, like, the ability to make the thing. It didn't matter what it was. I'm telling you, it's a dog.
Right.
Whether or not you believe that looks like a dog, I made it, and thus it is a dog.
That's
Yeah, I still play with some Play-Doh.
It's the hands-on experience of that. Like, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you cook bad food, it tastes differently to you than to other people.
Right.
It's never as bad to you because I made it. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
I could add a little something.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the beautiful thing about your business is that a lot of times people will be selfish with knowledge or the fear that somebody may go and replicate it. But what you're giving, the experience that you're giving to people, most people are going to want to come back. There is somebody, but most people don't. Even if you taught me how to do it, I'm not going to make my own perfume every time. No, unless I come to you and do it.
Right.
Because that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love coming to you and do it. Not like, I forgot what's the young lady who make everything from scratch on Instagram. She'd be like, my family wanted some bread. So I went and so I went and I planted the wheat.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later I came back. Everybody's not gonna do that.
We're not.
Right.
We like to watch her do it.
Exactly.
Who got design?
You like to believe you're gonna do it one day. That's where I'm watching.
Watch, but I'm not gonna do it.
You done went and bought all the yeast and everything. You still ain't baked that bread.
So going back to like even in this day and age, right? I feel like a lot of people are in this space where they want to like show people what they're doing, you know? So like we think about like the culture of today, we are very content heavy, right? People like to pretend they're creators and show people. So I feel like when you think about events like Poetry Potluck, for example, right? It's like we're not just sitting around, like we have activations, we have family. And I feel like it is, as a content creator, it is a content creator's dream because you have so many dope creative people in one space and you can create all kind of things and they're going to say yes. They're going to say yes. So do you feel like, is that strategic? Like, how do you create this environment that's like, it speaks to the culture, but it also is very dialed in to like, there's nowhere else like the Poetry Potluck, y'all. Like it's so unique to that, but we also feel like it could be packaged and shared and shown in different creative ways.
So one, I should never have to tell you that the Poetry Potluck is a Black space.
Ooh.
I should never have to put that in branding. I should never have to market that. You should see that.
And you feel it.
Because I could also say it and it still not be that.
Yeah.
And when you walk in, there should be no person that does not feel like this is a Black centered space, if for no other reason than the Black people in it. And if ever the Black people are not the majority, we've probably done something wrong because we create the culture, not because it excludes other people. It is because it is meant to be a Black space. It is for other people to enjoy the Black culture and us first. And then the other thing about that is passive engagement. People feel differently about things that they are required to do or told to do. Right. I want for you to genuinely see that thing and be curious and want to engage. The attachment that comes from your own curiosity, very similar to like you're gonna walk past the fragrance bar. Am I saying it right?
You got it.
You're gonna walk past the fragrance bar and you're gonna see it and what's that? I like things that smell good. Oh, I get to make my own. And now you're a child, you know what I mean? That same childlike excitement because nobody made you do it.
Yeah.
Nobody told you you had to do it. There's also no like, oh, I bought a ticket, so I better get to do it, or you know what I'm saying? I even tell people like, I don't advertise that the food is free at the Poetry Potluck because the food is donated. It may run out. And I don't want you to feel like you bought a ticket and so thus you get to eat. The food is here.
People come to the space for the feeling.
Exactly.
Right? One of the fun activations that I was able to participate in is the poem that we all write together. So if you've never been to Poetry Potluck, you need to go. But it's a super cute thing that Calvin does where he'll write like the beginning of a poem or a story and then just leave the whiteboard. And everyone adds a line. And by the end of the night, we had this crazy, I've actually never seen the final result because I never keep going and going. But
that's something I could be doing. I could be posting it.
It's so funny. Please post it.
I should.
But I feel like that's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's fine. So do you guys think people understand there's a strategy when you do things like the never ending poem, right? Or even setting up the fragrance bar in a space that doesn't seem like, why is this here? But it's here. Like, this is not strategic.
I believe so. It's definitely all strategic. And like it goes back to creating a feeling.
Yeah,
right?
it's all about the feeling.
It's all about the feeling. It's all about the feeling. I think that's a very, very unique thing.
It's super cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture it right now. Oh my gosh. I want to see it. Can you post it?
Yeah.
Please.
I love
right now.
So here's what's really important about that, right? Like any poet listening, it's like, oh, they're talking about the revolving poem or 30 other names for it, right? Because in the poetry community, it is super familiar. I did not create it. I did not come up with anything on my own, right?
Never seen it anywhere.
But that's what I love about it because the idea, and we're also bringing us all together. The Poetry Potluck is creatives and people who have a creative side, maybe they don't show everybody, or people who just like being in creative spaces. But we can all be in this space. So now when you leave, you have learned something new. And a poet is able to, like somebody who's not a poet walks up to that same thing and is like, the hell am I supposed to do with this? A poet says, here. And then everybody,
now,
exactly. There you go.
Y'all can't tell me nothing. Like,
and then we did it together.
The poetry greats, Calvin and Joy on the whiteboard.
There you go.
Period.
I'm curious to know what's like, and if I can I ask questions?
Of course.
What's like the most unique place you've ever set up the fragrance bar?
The most unique. Wow, that's.
Or at least one, like somewhere that just wasn't expected.
I have ideas already.
So yeah, I did something at a professional, a major actually, racing event, and I thought that was the most amazing thing ever.
Because who would think racing and fragrance
Was
Right.
together, right? Yeah.
right. So, and once again, it's all about creating the feeling because they didn't think that it was something that could happen as well, and I brought it to them, and I was like, look,
That is so
I love that you brought it to them.
cool.
I love that you brought it to them. That's
you
the
wanted
best
to work
part.
with that organization for years.
Yeah, like I was
met.
hustling,
Yeah.
like, and I was speaking it into existence so much, and it was so much people, so many people that were like, no, you should wait, you should do this as this her, and I was like, no, I'm not waiting.
Yeah, they don't know about you.
This is gonna happen, like for sure. I'm telling you.
I love that.
And I think that was the most coolest thing. Like, it's not even like just being able to work with them, just like, I think physically being able to see that, oh my goodness, I was able to like make my dreams come true.
Yeah.
No matter what. I think that was the best feeling. And oh,
Yeah, you gonna leave me out? You gonna leave me
I
out?
had to close my eyes. I was daydreaming just now. Like when I think back about that time, like it's like I'm literally like in awe.
Yeah.
Truly, truly grateful just because like it just shows you that, man, it's literally no limits to what
That
you
part.
can do.
Master P was on to something.
He was.
When he said this, like we were kids and we were all saluting, but we didn't really understand.
Yeah.
He did it.
He was really on to
He
something.
was on to something.
And I seen that recently you were working with another like major corporation. I don't know if you could say the name, but like another rated
Spanx.
Spanx. Yes. I thought that was so cool because I was like, that's another thing that you would not associate smell.
Beverly Underwood?
Yes, the underwear company. Yeah, well, it's a women's shapewear, but to a man.
Funny enough, with them, they wanted to create a sensory experience, right? So they actually
That's
had
so cool.
they had a touch experience, which whatever, they ain't paying me, but this is Spanx.
I love it. I love it.
So they wanted to create this sensory experience where you get to touch, feel, and smell, right?
And they
taste, actually.
Oh,
It
okay.
had hot chocolate.
Okay.
Shout out to the hot chocolate.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing is like because you have created this brand that is it's a scent company, but it also is on feeling,
Right.
right? So
Definitely.
even the fact that you always, I don't know how you have the time, but you always have a new sign on the fragrance bar that's
Yeah.
branded for the event.
Mm-hmm.
And like all of these is a part of the feeling.
It is.
I
It's
love
bigger
that.
than scent.
It is. It truly is. That's why I love to do like brand activations in a sense. I like to do personal experiences as well, or like let's say weddings or bridal
Or
showers.
birthday parties, you do the
Birthday
birthday
party, I
party
did.
here. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. So I don't know. Like I think it's just an amazing feeling. Just it goes back to feelings. Oh my gosh, be really in our feelings.
I
Right now.
told this is why that's the theme of the episode is happy feelings because
Yes.
to a person who doesn't understand the strategy of monetizing feelings, they'll just think, oh yeah, I feel good when I go to poetry potluck. But they don't realize that it's like, no, this is curated. This is not luck. Like
Right.
Calvin has sat there and thought about every part of the client's journey, not client, but the participant's journey. Like when you walk in, it's your cousins greeting you and they always say, hey cousin.
Well,
It's super cute.
I don't think that client is a terrible word. I think that if we view somebody like a client
Yeah.
or a patient or whatever it is, we take care of those people. It is our job to be of service to those people, right? So
You do a great job of that.
yeah, if this is my client, thank you. If this is my client, then I'm looking at the experience. And so also when I'm at anybody's event, anytime, and it's probably I'm going in between being a participant and being an event curator.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the other night I went to an event and at some point my brain clicked in and it said, hey, walk the space. See how they used it.
I love
Where did they put things? What would you do differently? How would
the
you
true
fill this?
owner.
room?
You want to get the
What's not going well here? What are people complaining about right now? Like all of those things are crossing my mind as I'm walking through somebody else's event because you can't judge it and not reflect on yourself too. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I've made that same mistake.
yeah.
Or I didn't realize that people might, feel this way about this thing,
I like it.
I love that. Yeah.
Spoken like a true business owner.
Right.
So let's zoom out a little bit, and I want to move to our next segment, which is the group chat. Yay! So the group chat is just real talk about everything, anything, whatever topics y'all want to throw out. Let's just have a great conversation as true business owner friends. Business friends. So I'm gonna start off because selling a feeling, it sounds cute, you know, because even at CoSpace, we sell a filling too. We have memberships, and I'm depending on people feeling something when they come here, so they'll pay me to come back, right? So it sounds cute, but it's labor. It is a lot of work. We're never not thinking about it. So how do you make room for the labor of like the cutesy feelings, but also have that time to protect how you feel? Like, how do you balance that?
Mm.
Do you balance it?
You know, I feel like as someone who has been in different roles or I have different businesses, I think when you love what you do, it's just like labor is different.
Yeah,
It's
true. I agree
labor
with that.
becomes so different because I really, really love what I do.
Yeah.
So for me, like I truly enjoy being able to go to these events.
And you literally always having fun.
I do. I'm always having a good time. Like I'm always having a good time. And I always tell people like I feel like this business itself, Place of Aroma, has brought me into a space where I was not this type of person that would speak in front of on a podcast.
That's true.
I wasn't this person that will speak on a stage. I remember you came to my fish competition, right? And that was I was
so
never in a
nervous.
million
I
years
know.
picture myself doing that. And I feel like the teaching workshops.
This must have been before the major racing corporation, because that's a big.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like that's why I say like I feel like I truly love what I do. So for me, it's not even labor. Like it's fun. Like like I'm outside, y'all. I'm busy. Like
I love it.
I'm outside. So it's not like I don't know. It's very hard to say that it's labor in a sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
I am. It's balanced, but it's definitely it doesn't feel like labor because when you love what you do, it's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Calvin? So I know we talked about the poetry potluck a lot,
Or
right?
it's labor.
But in addition to the poetry potluck, you also have the spoken word exchange, which we got to talk about that because it's a whole vibe. So we have an event that we do with the city, and Calvin curates the poetry segment for me. And there's nobody else I would ever imagine doing it. And to me, it's super dope. Everything is like, oh, that's really cool how they all just flowed into each other. And Calvin's like, duh, because I did that. You know, like he's working. So how do you like, you're always working, but you're also making the space to like create that feeling for yourself too, hopefully, or?
No. So, and that's genuine, because if I don't say it, then I'm not gonna fix it. So, what's honest, for starters, is that it's definitely labor. It's physical labor, right? And that's one of the things that I have this thing where I can't explain things all the time as well as I know them.
Yeah.
So I end up doing more myself
Yeah.
because I realize the time that would
Just
take
do
to
it.
explain it. But which is not good. So I have to get better at explaining and bringing people into things. But all of the things that are labor are also things that matter to me that I love. Like even the lifting, the storage of things, the packing stuff up, the labeling of the things, the keeping in order. That matters to me. That warms my heart. I will tell you, you can go ahead and go home and I'll sit here and box up this entire room by myself.
I love it.
I don't care how many hours it takes. I know when it's done,
It's done right.
it'll be done right. And I'll be fine with that and nothing is broken. I've also learned to say, like I said earlier, let it go. That thing didn't get done, it didn't get printed, it didn't get put up, something just broke in the moment, you know what I'm saying? My dad was backing in my trailer at the last poetry potluck and messed the wheel up. I just, hey,
Going at the trailer.
let it go. It's not gonna do, there's nothing I can do about that right now, but be arguing with this other man named Calvin, and it doesn't help. And then ultimately, and so my greatest accomplishment last year was I sat down at some point at every single poetry potluck. I sat down and enjoyed the show, watched. That was a huge deal, and that is absolutely a direct result of building a strong team of people who are capable and that I can trust to do not only their role, but to be able to jump in for one another. And that warms my
I feel
heart.
like that still ties into the feeling, right? Because, for example, has it been a month? Maybe a month ago or so, we were painting the new roller rink at Charles Hadley Park, which is amazing. And I remember at one point, we were all out there just painting and everything. And I met, we always meet people. Whenever you do anything with Calvin, you're going to meet new people. But I met a young lady, and she was saying like, oh, how do you know, Calvin, or how did you find out about this? And I was like, oh, I'm friends with Calvin, but I saw this on Instagram, so I came. you know? And another person was like, oh yeah, I follow him on Instagram, but I actually don't know him. And I came because I saw their Instagram. And I was just like, isn't that amazing that you can summon people to come and do physical labor for free, but we're here because we're here for the vibe. And we had a good time. We had the music, we were vibing, there were snacks, and we had a grand old time. You would think it was another poetry potluck, but really we were working.
I think that everybody has a tribe. I think that probably the most challenging thing is finding them and giving them a vehicle to find you. Like people will say, oh, this don't exist in Miami or nobody wants to do this. When I told people that the community was going to paint it, the response over and over and over again was like, all right, well, we'll see. If
And
you
they
say you can get it done. And I was like, that's crazy that you would think that that's that challenging. Now, finding the people is one thing, you know what I mean? But when we just did our Christmas Eve event, we put it on, I went Facebook Live, like, you know what I'm saying? And people were just showing up. I was like, oh, I didn't even know you knew about this day. I saw you live.
And they came.
And people just showed up. If it's something that people want to do, I do think that they will come and find it. It's just the challenge is casting a wide enough net
Yeah.
to find you, for your tribe to be able to find you.
Yeah.
You know?
I need to follow you.
Yeah.
I need to follow you.
Yes, follow Calvin.
Yes.
When in doubt, follow Calvin.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot that I'm trying to do better.
It was so fun. It was so
Well, we're going to be painting more, so I'm glad that you said that.
At Charles Avenue?
Yeah. That was the first, that was phase 1 of the rink, so I would love to have you come out.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And if you want to sponsor, we need paint, we need snacks.
And we need to feed people every
We
day.
need to feed people.
That I literally the second largest cost to the paint and materials was feeding the people.
All right, so if you are a business, get with Calvin because this is how you got to promote yourself because he has a very solid tribe that will come out. So
Absolutely.
shout out, right? Let's
Absolutely.
get it done, right? So have you ever had a moment where you're trying to balance pricing of filling? Because we're business owners, right? So we got to talk about the business of it, but how do you price a filling so that you can keep doing it, but also does it feel weird for you?
I'll share that in my work, that's very challenging
I bet.
because it's very community. Every potluck, somebody says Calvin, you could be charging this for this, or people would pay for this, and I'm like, but that's really not the point. I fully understand that people would pay for it, or that there's a cost for this thing, and I'm just like, but if we look around us, if you lived in the city your whole life, there's a reason why certain things are the way that they are, but people keep missing that as a point. Money being everything
right
is,
now.
yeah.
So if you sign up,
It just doesn't put no money in my pocket. So that's
that's what we got to fix.
that's the challenge, but it has to be made elsewhere.
Yeah.
Community work has to be community work. You can't call it both. You can't call it community work and you can't call it capitalism and it work. It can't. There has to be a balance. There are things that we make money from, and there are things that we don't. But those things need to be able to sustain themselves at minimum so that they don't become a cost. And that's where I've gone to. It can't harm. I don't want the work to harm me or to put me at such a deficit
Right, where you
that
can't
I
do it
can't do it
anymore.
with love. You know what I mean? That matters.
Yeah.
So that's finding that balance.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. How about you, Carrie? I know you don't claim about your pricing, though. So on the other end of the spectrum, we have Carrie. And one thing, I adore it, though. Carrie has a price point because she knows what it costs to pull this off. And you very rarely budge.
Right.
But I love that. And I feel a lot of business owners are afraid to be there.
And it takes time because at first I wasn't confident in my pricing. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm too expensive. Maybe I'm this, that, and the third. But it even goes back to something that you like to say that you just need to find people who understand what you do.
Yeah.
Right? You need to find
People who speak your language.
who speak your language.
Yeah.
Because when you find them, you'll realize
I wasn't tripping. It was y'all tripping.
right. I'm not tripping at all. No, maybe I need to up my price actually. But yeah, no,
I love that, though.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. At first, it was definitely challenging. I think sometimes, especially, and I like to say that is also a trauma response because for some time we don't like to charge.
We don't. We feel weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of practice, to even say your pricing. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, it's only $2,000.
And you don't pay
it's
at all. Yeah. I can tell you from my experience here at CoSpace, when I first opened, I was open. So there was no charge to just come and try it out. And I told everybody after my grand opening, I'll begin charging, right? And so then I had a lot of people who came and enjoyed it for free. But then when I started asking for the day pass, they were like, for this? And they were my people, right?
Right.
But then I have people like you guys who come and you could work for anywhere, but you pull up, you come to my events, you do things with me, and you help me to understand that it's like the price is the price, right? Because if I don't charge, if I'm losing out and I am not charging how I'm supposed to charge, and I go out of business, then you're gonna say, "Oh, Cosmos was great, but Joy know how to do business."
Right.
Right? That's what they're gonna say. They're not gonna remember that like y'all was making me feel bad for charging for what I charged. You know?
Exactly.
So
Or no matter what they say, it's closed now. Like it actually, it doesn't matter what, because people are gonna have 1,000 opinions, right? Oh, people didn't support her. It's gonna be da da da. The bottom line is it's closed.
well, it don't matter.
Because something that could have happened didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also, so with respect to things closing or things changing, like that's something I'm very committed to about anything I do in this life, that things end. And values, and that's the hardest part. Like my values have to remain consistent. My values have to be, I can make money a lot of ways.
Right.
I'm a very talented person. I've done a lot with my life. And if nothing else, I can go work at a job somewhere
Right.
that my resume says I'm qualified to do.
The resume.
But otherwise, like my values need to show up. So if at some point that would be like, there's something about like, this is a prime spot, but there's something happening here with this location, with this plaza that goes against your values.
There's actually exactly.
Do you stay or do you adjust, or you know what I'm saying? How do you work that out? Because it can, for me, it can never be that like I can't give this up because the business is so big or because I built it. No, this can change shape.
Yeah.
If I did it before, I can do it again, as long as my values are intact.
And you're not afraid to like stand on something. And it's funny because if we're talking about the business of selling a filling, it's like it starts with you. If you're so afraid to say what you got to say or to have your message, you're already missing the mark.
Yep.
People are not they're not gonna rock with you because you don't know who you are. You're whichever way the wind blows. And we can feel that.
Yep.
There's other, like, I'm not gonna say anything in particular, but there was one organization, one place that was doing something similar or trying to do something similar. And it was a great organization while it was what it was. But they were so big on pandering to what they thought would make more money or what they thought, you know, people wanted to see. And then it was not about what it was supposed to be about anymore. I know this is super vague, but follow me. And
I'm getting enough.
because you know the story. And this wonderful weekly fun event that people were going to, it literally stopped. It ceased to exist immediately because we realized that the location was not what it needed to do. They were so heavy on pandering to who they thought would eventually make the money that the people who were actually making the money left.
Mm-hmm.
And now this thing doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
Right. The space is there, but it'd be empty.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so it's like when you go back to the theme of like the selling the filling and curating a filling, it's like it has to be authentic.
It does.
It has to be.
It does.
Yeah.
You know? Because you're going to lose if you're too busy chasing what you think is going to get you popular or chasing what you think you should be doing. If you're not you, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that when everybody can find themselves in a thing, you know, it's not the same thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody comes and sits in that little egg chair over there every time. That's their favorite chair. Somebody else is like, that thing kills my back.
Right.
Or, you know,
Always be a person who sits in the shout out for the egg chair at CoSpace.
there. It's their thing. And as long as I can come into a space and I find something within it where I feel welcome.
Yeah.
You know, I come to the fragrance bar, I buy the exact same thing every single time.
Yeah.
Somebody comes and will buy the exact same thing every single time. That's they go to. You know what I
And
mean?
they love it. It's their signature thing.
And one day maybe they try something new, but they're gonna come there. They feel welcome. That's their thing. You know.
Yeah,
I think as long as people feel welcome, they come back. And when you focus more about like the product, or this is the new thing, ooh, everybody's doing matcha now.
Yeah.
So we got to get matcha. People want to co-work and drink matcha. But you're not thinking about, I think for CoSpace as an example, when I come here, it's the music.
Yes.
The music feels
you.
great. The aroma is great in here. I can go grab a snack. If I was like, I really need to get here for a meeting, but I'm a little bit behind. I need to get me a snack. I'm like, oh, Cold Space got snack.
I love
At least
it.
I know, you know what I
Look,
mean? Like
Calvin.
all of those things help make me feel welcomed and feel connected to a space. The small things like that that people are gonna remember more than all of that extra stuff you're doing.
Yeah,
You know?
thank you. I receive
Absolutely.
it. I receive it. So I know we spoke about the fragrance bar and the poetry potluck. So before we wrap up this segment, for those who are not familiar with the fragrance bar, tell us about it and how they could book.
Absolutely. So the fragrance bar is pretty much literally a mobile experience where you
Yeah.
can bring a perfume, a spray, a candle experience to any event that you have. You can also do it in a workshop if you'd like as well. If it's a more of an intimate space. We're actually the first to bring it to Florida, so I'm always very proud of that as well. The first and Black owned.
Congratulations.
Yes, and on too.
Come on with it.
Hey, you fell up first.
Oh. I don't even know how to respond to that one. Oh my God. Okay, so
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yes,
Councilman
yes.
Chizo.
Absolutely. I like complimentary.
Yes, yes.
That's funny.
So how do they book?
How do they book? So you can book on the website, www.placeofaroma.com, or you can reach out on Instagram, Place of Aroma. You can text us 305-699-5060.
And if you have an event with the fragrance bar, please invite Cold Space. I love the fragrance bar.
Girl, you're always invited. Just come along.
I'm gonna pull up at your event.
Yeah,
But I love it.
Pull up anytime.
And so, Calvin, I feel like everybody knows you and the poetry potluck, but for most people, it's true. You can never go somewhere and someone don't know Calvin. I love it.
Matter of fact, I was telling her, I'm sorry.
Go, 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 go.
I was telling her, I was like, I think you're a part of the Bank United Eye Care program.
I am, yeah.
And I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah.
How'd you know that? That was random.
Everybody knows.
Oh.
it.
And I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah, I think I know him because he's a part of the program. We never met though. I think I met your partners at one point. We actually never like met because, you know, everything's virtual, we're busy and things like that. But that was kind of like a conversation where I was like, oh yeah, I think he's a part of the
Everybody knows.
That is definitely an interesting thing to miss. I wouldn't have expected that.
I know.
I love that, but I love them. I love the team.
Anywhere.
They're
You go
great.
anywhere, and if you say you know Calvin, they gonna say they know Calvin. But yeah. But for those people who have not had the pleasure of meeting you or going to a poetry potluck, please tell us what it is, and also talk about the spoken word exchange because that's dope. And I didn't know you was bringing it back, so talk about that too.
So the spoken word exchange started in 2014 out of a desire to really explore the idea that we are a lot more alike than we are different. And the only way to fully understand that is to meet one another. So I traveled between 2014 and 2019. I traveled to 6 countries. And then
Amazing.
hosting, every country that we went to, we would do a performance, a poetry workshop, a cross-cultural dialogue and cultural exploration of wherever we were. We would exchange work with poets, between poets in the States and poets in those other countries. We went to Abu Dhabi, Paris, Leeds, England, Thailand, and Ghana.
Nice.
It's a poetry show. Can you imagine if like we're in Paris out here doing doing
Yeah.
poetry?
And it's a very good example of something that I said, and it can start at beginning time, but I reached the point in my life where I was like, okay, not this anymore. We need to focus on home. I was meeting a lot of poets who are from different cities coming to Miami doing great things, but had no relationship to the poetry culture that existed here.
Yeah.
Barbecuing is something that I love, but I was getting better at that time. So I figured if people are over my house eating for free, they're not going to judge. So I invited all of these poets that I knew to my house just to meet one another, to build community. We ended up doing poetry. We ate, we hung out, we had a good time. And then somebody said, when are we doing another one of those poetry potlucks? That literally became the poetry potluck. So now we host a poetry potluck quarterly, specifically in historically Black venues throughout South Florida and around the country. We've been to several other cities now and are looking to do more. This year, we're actually looking at New York, Detroit, and Orlando. It'll be the first time we've done 3 cities.
I love it. So if you are watching this and you are in one of those cities or another city, reach out to Calvin and see how you can make it happen. We need sponsorships because it's not cheap and it is such an experience. And it is if you're a business, it is a great way to get your brand in front of a community that you know is locked in. So he won't say it, but I'm gonna tell y'all. So.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And that's our work. We wanna build our community, you know. The people who come to the poetry potluck, we want them to feel like cousins, you know.
Yeah.
I watched somebody else walked away from their station at the last poetry potluck and had somebody like watching it while they go ate or something like that. And I was like, I know y'all don't know each other from nowhere but here. You know what I mean? And you trust that person. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was huge. I was nervous. I was like, I still getting to know them. You like them. I'm joking, but I knew it was a big deal for that amount of trust to be, you know, with a
It's
stranger.
the
So
feeling. It's the feeling
yeah.
that you create in his face. So I love that. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining today's episode of my podcast. As you guys can see, the theme is happy feelings. And so we talked about how you can take a feeling and curate that for your business and make that a part of your brand. So if you are a business owner and you've ever felt like it's hard to explain what you do and how you do it and create that space for community, I know this episode was helpful and was made just for you. Yay! So once again, thank you guys. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Carrie, Place of Aroma, Poetry Potluck, and Spoken Word Exchange. And of course, I'll put their information in the show notes, so make sure that you lock in, follow them, see how you can support their brands. All right, Evan, shout out to Gil, our podcast engineer extraordinaire. We love him. He knows where the bodies are buried, and that's not a metaphor. He really does, but we love him. And of course, also shout out to whatever ads you saw or heard before this episode started, because they pay us for that. So make sure y'all engage.
Yeah.
So as always, like I say, this is why business friends matter, because there's certain conversations that you can have with a regular person and it does not hit the same as it would with your business friends. So
Absolutely.
thanks for being my business friends, y'all.
Thank you.
Those are great conversations. So if you don't have your own business friends, I hope you had fun borrowing mine. See you next time. Thanks for watching or listening.